Happy to talk to the media after the event. I call on question number 2, the Honourable David Cunliffe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Attorney-General, has he been advised whether the Prime Minister stands by his statement that the government believes there is no cause of action to help contribute to the compensation for the Pike River families?
Honourable Chris Finlayson.
Yes and yes, the Prime Minister stands by his statement when it is read in full and in context.
Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary question, Honourable David Cunliffe.
Why, when the court has awarded compensation against Pike River Coal Limited and the Department of Labour was found sufficiently at fault for its minister to resign, has the government decided to take no action to either compensate or enforce compensation for the families?
Honourable Chris Finlayson.
There are two parts to that question. The first is whether or not there is a legal obligation on the part of the Crown for the company that the member refers to. It has not. Then there's a second part to the question about the Department of Labour. The government is very aware of its obligations to these families on today of all days, which is why it has an ACC scheme to ensure that people are compensated, and we have worked closely with the families over the past few years to try and help them through this dreadful time.
Supplementary question, the Honourable David Cunliffe.
Why is the Minister hiding behind generalities like ACC when the Pike River partners are without husbands, children are without fathers, and families are without compensation? And does he agree with Minister Bridges that Cabinet considered whether it had further moral obligations but decided that it did not?
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Chris Finlayson.
The government is fully aware of its obligations to these families, and we're not hiding behind the ACC scheme at all. The issue is whether or not it has a legal obligation to pay compensation or damages. And that is the issue, and the member himself in his press conference has admitted as much, because he said he would make an ex gratia payment without any admission of liability. There are two different things here.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Two points of order.
Point of order, Honourable David Cunliffe.
First of all, to the best of my knowledge, I didn't use the phrase ex gratia, but if the Minister would care to address himself to why he's not...
That is not a point of order, that's a debating
Mr. Speaker,
matter.
I seek leave to table the Commission report on the Pike River coal tragedy, in which it concludes that the Department of Labour was at fault because it should have closed the mine down.
Order. That document has been made available to all members of Parliament. Further supplementaries? Question number 3, Tim McIndoe.